right, coming up with a 141-pound open class division, Simeon Dunwell going up against Nick Morganelli. And we're going to go up to ring announcer Bill Carpenter for the formal introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 3 rounds of boxing in the 141-pound open division. Introducing the red corner, wearing the black trunks with red, and representing the Haverhill Boxing Gym, Simeon Dunwell. His opponent boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks trimmed in white, and representing the South Shore PAL, Nick Morganelli. 3 rounds of boxing.
All right, round 1. Nick Morganelli, Simeon Dunwell. Sitting in with me, of course, Dana Rosenblatt and Dana's former manager and trainer, Joe Lake, at ringside. Joe, welcome.
Thank you, Stu.
As we begin round 1 here, in the 141-pound division, Nick Morganelli of Weymouth, 17 years old, going up against Simeon Dunwell, 22.
Both of these guys look like they're eager to get the action underway. Neither one of these guys seems to be fleet of foot moving around. They're both looking to get right to business.
Yeah, Morganelli appears like he's looking to load up a little bit too much early on. He seems to be, the size difference seems to be a factor here. Really, he seems to be muscling him around the ring a little bit.
That significant height advantage is definitely serving to his benefit.
Morganelli, 17, from Weymouth, has spent his whole life boxing, big amateur record, about 100 wins. 2 years he figures he'll turn pro. Dunwell in black and red, 22 years old, works as a bricklayer, and he wants to try out for the Olympics. There's a left by Morganelli. Flurry of punches from Dunwell on the inside, none of them connecting.
Seems like Dunwell doesn't really want to come forward, and he's getting backed up by the stronger Morganelli at this point.
Yeah, I think a tone to this fight has already developed, whereas Morganelli is moving forward. Dunwell's just looking to try to get off with punches and flurries when he can.
Joe, let me ask you the question, the age difference here. It's not as meaningful when they're older, but at this young age, 5 years age difference is really quite significant, isn't it?
Yeah, Stu, I think it's really significant, but I think the experience that, like you had mentioned, the young Morganelli has.
Okay, that's the end of round 1, and we are at ringside. Stu Taylor along with Dana Rosenblatt and Joe Lake. Comments on, first of all, what you think about amateur fighting. It certainly provides a great deal of excitement. Some of it you don't even see in the pros.
Well, it's kind of like the farm team, actually. You know, these kids are, you know, this is where they're going to apply their trade, and this is really where they're going to get their schooling. They're going to get it here, and they're going to get it in the gyms, like Dana did coming up in his professional career. There's, you know, a lot of different avenues you can go. A lot of, you know, going in with world-class guys, going around sparring a lot of good fighters. Or you can go this route, which is, you know, the preferred and recommended route for young kids. You know, one of these gentlemen in there tonight, Morganelli, he's been in since he was a real young boy, so he comes from a fighting family. And he's been trying, you know, this is where he's going to get all his experience.
Okay, we're going to begin here with round 2, and Dana Rosenblatt, an anomaly without really an amateur career.
No amateur fights.
No
Zero.
amateur fights.
None,
okay.
None at all.
Round 2, Simeon Dunwell. In the black and red, Nick Morganelli. This is the 141-pound division.
Dunwell got off a couple of good times right in the beginning of this round. Landed a couple of straight shots right to the face of Morganelli.
Seems to be coming forward at the beginning of this round.
Looks like a huge physical disadvantage for Simeon Dunwell. He may have to win it with movement, speed, and quickness.
Morganelli nicely just tucked in a right uppercut below the belt. Referee didn't see it naturally. He was on the other side.
Dunwell has to be careful. He doesn't get into an even exchange with Morganelli. But I'll tell you, he's not backing off.
Well, this round, it seems like he's coming forward. It's paying dividends for him right now. He seems to have hit Morganelli with some good shots. Again.
Again. Another nice counter left by Dunwell.
fight setting up. I think it's trying to change a little bit. Morganelli seems to be waiting now and looking to be the counterpuncher. It's not really working out for him.
Well, that's it. Round 1 didn't work for Dunwell. He changed strategy. Round 2 is working out pretty well. He's got to be careful. Got caught and caught again by Morganelli.
Wow. Morganelli really taking advantage of that.
Here's where experience hasn't fared well for Dunwell. A little over anxious and not his balance.
Morganelli landing a right hand bomb.
Seems like Dunwell's a little bit hurt right here. He's on unsteady leg.
An exciting second round.
Nice counter right hand off the ropes by Dunwell.
Back and forth action here.
It's a great round. And that's the end of round 2. How exciting.
Wow, that was
Morganelli and Dunwell.
That was
the crowd is loving it.
A fitting end to that round. Morganelli landing a hard right hand, overhand right to Dunwell as he was pinned against the ropes. Wow.
All right,
let's take a look at some action
between rounds.
That hard left hook landed by Morganelli. Follows it up with a beautiful straight right hand right on the chin of Dunwell. Beautiful shot. Take another look at it right here. That high right hand, this is where the knockdown came. And then he jumped on him, hit him with another right hand, and proceeded to land more punches. Here we're going to take a look at it at the end of the round. There was that hard right hand to punctuate an emphatic
See, Danny, you said something very well. You know, he did get knocked down there. When the glove, anything but your soles of your feet hit the floor, that's a knockdown. The referee kind of missed that, and that let Dunwell get further punishment in that round.
All right, round 3, final round.
Actually, it's funny how that knockdown affected this fight in the sense that,
toe-to-toe.
That was a beautiful right hand counter by Dunwell there. Dunwell's coming forward.
Wow.
Here's capitalizing. Dunwell not keeping his balance.
Dunwell clearly hurt.
His over-anxiety, that is Dunwell's, has proved to be costly in certain situations. It's a balance problem.
It seems like Danny, you were right when you started this fight, that the size difference, the height difference is really starting to pay dividends now for Morganelli. He's just overpowering him.
Using his strength, backing him into the corner, and as you say, Joe, using his physical advantage.
I'll tell you though, Stu, when I looked at both of them in their corner after the second round, it looked like Dunwell was a little bit more fresher than Morganelli. He better be careful he doesn't punch himself out.
Round 3, right up against the ropes, right in front of us. Morganelli has Dunwell in the ropes. Dunwell comes out, throwing a series of punches. Morganelli backing him back into the ropes. Both fighters sensing the urgency. Short fight, 3 rounds. Dunwell off the ropes, landing.
Dunwell throws a nice counter right hand.
And he's clocked.
Hard right
key
hand.
left by Morganelli.
Morganelli has really landed with some beautiful shots. Not too active in this round, but came up big. Again, he's very precise with his
He's loading up Dana a lot now. I'm just wondering if it's going to get, he looks to be tired. And he's just looking for that one right hand.
Okay, that's the end of round 3. We'll be back with the decision.
Look, make a wish.
Used car? Look no further than Cap's Auto Sales. With great selection and quality vehicles, we make knockout deals guaranteed. As low as $500 down buys you most cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Bad credit, no problem. Your job is your credit. At Cap's Auto Sales, no interest financing on every vehicle. Your past credit history doesn't matter. With as low as $500 down, you drive away today. Cap's Auto Sales.
Knockout deals guaranteed.
On the corner of Court and Carey Streets, Brockton.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by decision, the blue corner, Nick Morganelli.
Morganelli, the winner in a really an exciting fight, defeating Simeon Dunwell. Both spirited fighters. And it was a great finish.
Fantastic fight, great finish, great action throughout the whole 3 rounds.
A terrific fight. Both kids look like they have a future.
Mohegan Sun, Fight Night USA, and this one should be rather interesting. Daniel Provenzano is going to go up against this young man who has some fists of lightning, Nick Morganelli. Let's go ahead and get this one started. Our ring announcer, Larry Rosoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 4 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Your referee once again is Mr. John Zabzablocki. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the blue trunks and weighed in at 144 pounds. He has a career record of 3 victories, no defeats, 2 wins by knockout. Hailing from Weymouth, Massachusetts, let's have a nice hand for nasty Nick Morganelli. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the red trunks with the white trim and weighed in at 143 pounds. He hails from Miami, Florida. His professional record, no wins, 3 defeats. Let's have a nice welcome for Daniel the Bomber Provenzano. 4 rounds welterweight.
Give me both fighters. Both fighters. All right, fellas, you got your instructions in the dressing room. Again, let me caution you again. In case of a knockdown, go immediately to the neutral corner. When I tell you to break, I expect you to break clean. Are there any questions from the blue corner? Okay. Any questions from the red corner? No. All right, touch them up and good luck. 4 rounds, fellas.
Should be entertaining, as we pointed out. Let's just also point out that Daniel Provenzano, this will be his first bout outside of Florida. He's fought mostly in South Florida, 2 in Boynton Beach and 1 in Miami. And Nick Morganelli has all 3 of his fights right here in New England. He has fought once in Revere, and he has fought once in Boston, and once at Mohegan Sun. Nick Morganelli, 3 times that he has fought, and the times that we have seen him, he has been impressive.
Yeah, Provenzano fought all fights in Florida. He's originally from Buenos Aires.
And a big right hand by Morganelli to open things up in the early moments. Morganelli is not afraid to get in close. He's not afraid to toe-to-toe. This kid's just flat out tough.
He's a very explosive young fighter. All of a sudden, he'll spring off with 4 or 5, 6 punches.
There's something about guys who are 0-3 and call themselves the Bomber.
Well, because in the 3 fights that he's been in, he's bombed. But he should be a good test for Morganelli, as hopefully they're going to work their way up slowly with this kid and make sure that he gets the right fights. And again, that's a science more than anything else, Nina. You certainly know that. George, you certainly know that, seeing enough fights.
There you go. Morganelli put together a nice 4-punch combination.
Almost tried to wrestle him to the ground as Provenzano got in close that time. Big exchange that time, both with right hands, and Morganelli might have just gotten the slightly better of the 2.
Provenzano looked to be a little hurt there. It was a hard right hand landed by Morganelli.
Doc Zablocki telling Provenzano not to hold, which might be the only way that Provenzano might keep Morganelli from teeing off. Morganelli is a kid who loads up very quickly. He puts his entire body behind a good shot. Morganelli almost with a look of frustration on his face that time as Provenzano pulled him in, as if he's saying, let me get an open shot. A lot of forearms being traded in here. He actually got a right hand that snuck in on Provenzano.
Morganelli's looking for that hard right hand. There it is.
Right hand and a big left hand to follow.
Hit him with a good short right and then the big left hook.
And to use an old axiom from boxing, Provenzano is on Queer Street at the moment.
Exactamundo.
He stumbled trying to get up. He did make it to his feet. It will not take much for Nick Morganelli to finish him off. He's already got him. There's another left. He's got him on his knees, and that may be all. Provenzano is going to get to his feet. but it certainly is not a solid footing.
He didn't have his feet underneath him. Referee made a wise decision stopping that fight because you could clearly see that Provenzano simply just did not have his legs underneath him.
Jacques Zablocki in a mercy stop because Nick Morganelli once again comes out and proves that he has the power in order to finish things off. His first fight, he won on a TKO in 2 rounds. He took a unanimous decision against Jose Roman in a 4-rounder. And when we saw him against Eloy Varos at Club Lido in Revere, Mass, back in October, a first-round knockout. Here's how it all started again. There's the right, and the devastating left. Look at the way Morganelli had the right. He almost held Provenzano's head up with the right up against his chin to get ready to tee off.
And he had beautiful follow-through with the left hook. The left hook, he followed it right through to the completion of the punch, and that is what caused that pulverizing knockdown. Here you can see him just following Provenzano back, looking for that left hook after he had hurt him, and just landed it very nicely.
Nick Morganelli will come back with the official word right after this on Mohegan Sun Fight Night USA. Mock on him, and no mocks when you can go ahead and get off like Nick Morganelli did against Daniel Provenzano. Some of the shots here, Dana.
You can just see the hard punching by Nick Morganelli as he puts a finish to this fight, landing that hard left hook as Provenzano was against the ropes.
Well, he landed a couple of left, then Provenzano basically feeling the effects of him sort of fell down.
I think falling down was a wise choice. Let's get the official word right now. Ring announcer Larry Rosoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee John Zab Zablocki calls a halt to the contest at 2 minutes 58 seconds of round number 1. The winner by technical knockout, still undefeated, nasty Nick Morganelli.
Nick Morganelli, his record going to 4-0. It has been an impressive 4-0 to say the least. And everybody in New England seems next.
Told you about next Friday night up in Hampton Beach. Always a rowdy crowd there, and we will be visiting with Super Ray Oliveira a little later on this evening. Next up, 4 rounds, junior welterweights, unbeaten, local favorite Nick Morganelli against Mike Weaver. There is Nicholas Joseph Morganelli from Dorchester, Massachusetts. He is a perfect 4-0. He's only 19 years old, and he has big things in mind down the road. Tonight, he is opposite 24-year-old Mike Weaver, who gives up 3 inches. He's 5'7". He's a Philly fighter, and he is 2-1-1, and he has spread out his fights over the course of 3 years. Turned pro back in 2002.
And he's very soft in the body.
All right, we've been through the in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want a nice clean bow. These both trunks are fine right here. Okay? Let's touch them up right now and come out, protect yourself.
Morganelli would be smart to go downstairs to that softness that Weaver displays.
Morganelli, a very, very long amateur career. He was a 4-time national amateur junior Olympic champion. Fought 118 times, had 101 wins. He is wearing the blue with black trim against Mike Weaver in the white with black trim, scheduled for 4.
The reason why the midsection of Weaver looks soft or loose, this is the heaviest weight of his career. 7 pounds heavier.
Turned pro as a featherweight
than his last fight. And he's coming off a lot of inactivity, Joe. 1 year of inactivity, as you just talked about. And yes, he did turn pro as a featherweight. Fought 2 fights at that weight class, then moved up to 134 pounds for his next 2 fights. And tonight, jumping up to 141 pounds. So Morganelli, naturally the much bigger man, turned pro 138 pounds, last 2 fights at 141 pounds and 144 pounds. So you really have a junior welterweight versus a lightweight.
Unbeaten Nick Morganelli. Dad took him to the gym when he was just 7 years old, did Nick Sr. Also has a younger brother, Mike. who they say is a very promising pro. He's going to be turning pro later this summer.
All the fights for Morganelli have been in the local area, New England.
Home cooking is treating him well. Turned pro back in June 2004. Has 2 first-round knockouts in his last 2 fights. Halfway through this first round here against Weaver.
And he's got his eyes set on the body of Weaver. He sees that loose flesh.
Keep him up, Mike.
Just looking at the two of them, you can see Morganelli naturally the bigger, stronger man. He has a choice how to use that size. He can use it on the outside as he is there, using that reach, using that jab to control the distance with Weaver, or he can go inside and just use that power.
Triples up the right hand, then finishes with the left as Morganelli. Back out to the center of the ring comes Mike Weaver.
Morganelli has choices how to go about this fight, how to win this fight. Weaver does not have choices. He must be as elusive, as fleet as possible. Not put himself in risk, in danger spots too often.
Good job, guys. Morganelli with a lead right uppercut that time.
Well, right now, Morganelli is showing you the ability to go inside and stay outside and counterpunch. He shows you that he has options.
Finished off that exchange with a right hand. Stop. Good job.
On Monday, July 11th, the world's best hitters descend upon Motown. Oh, man! Detroit will rock as the world's biggest bats go at it for global bragging rights. Who will wear the crown and emerge as baseball's biggest bat?
You know, there aren't many things on a car that are more...
Number 2 scheduled for 4, Nick Morganelli and Mike Weaver on Friday Night Fights, presented by AutoZone. In that first round, the undefeated Morganelli had a 12-2 power connect advantage. He was 12 out of 36. 7 of those 12 power shots were body shots, and that's something that Teddy Atlas said would be a big advantage as soon as you saw the midsection of Mike Weaver, who has been coming up in weight as his career has progressed. Teddy said he looks soft in the middle, go attack the bodies.
And as you said, Joe, very accurately, just too much inactivity for Weaver since turning pro. 1 fight in 2002, 1 fight in 2003, 2 fights in 2004. And this, only his first fight in 2005.
Been working in construction in Philadelphia, trying to put some time into the gym. Hard to piece together a boxing career when you're working full time. So spreading out that career going back to 2002. This is the first fight of 2005 for Weaver.
You can see that Morganelli, the undefeated 19-year-old, feeling very confident, almost cocky.
I got you.
As he drops his hands, pulls back, and as he drops his left hand now, picks it up. He'll drop that left hand, as you see right there, down around his waist. Showing off a little bit, as I said, feeling very sure of himself, not feeling threatened right now.
He has reason to be like that.
Stop punching. Nick, stop on his head.
There were moments we saw Carlos Mausa like that this past weekend against Vivian Harris, which is hard to believe, but it took place. Another uppercut. You're watching Friday Night Fights presented by AutoZone, coming to you from Plymouth Memorial Hall, this wonderful setting to kick off the 4th of July weekend in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. Matt Weiner in for Brian Kenny this week with Jameel McCline in studio. Nick Morganelli in the blue with black trim. He was the undefeated local favorite from Dorchester, Mass, taking on Mike Weaver in the white with black. Still to come tonight. Just a sensational story that you've been saying played out all week long on SportsCenter. George Collett-Jones, of course, 4 years ago this week, the death of P. Scotland. Everybody in boxing remembers that. And this week, SportsCenter has done such an outstanding job of retelling that story, but doing so in a way which really begs you to think twice about the athletes that take part in this sport and how forgiveness and redemption and all that can come together in such a beautiful way. He will be taking on Freddie Moore in a very important light heavyweight fight for both men. That's still to come in our main event.
Well, right now in this fight, Weaver trying to survive and Morganelli doing what he wants.
Just about halfway through this scheduled 4 round.
Stop. I'm here for the vegan conference.
Very flashy, exciting junior welterweight contender. He's now 19-0. Watching a couple junior welterweights here. Nick Morganelli and Mike Weaver, round number 3. Of course, Paulie Malignaggi, 19-0. Teddy, he's had a lot of hand problems in his young career, coming off another surgery, looks to come back in August. Power punches through round 2. Morganelli a 25-6 advantage.
An entertaining young man, Paul Malignaggi.
Got a kick on Paulie earlier today, Teddy. You'll appreciate this. You know, he's training up here in Massachusetts now, so they introduced him to the crowd earlier. He's a proud Sicilian-born New Yorker and a Yankees fan. They introduced him from Massachusetts. He didn't take a liking to that.
No, not
Red Sox fans cheering for him.
He's Brooklyn and wearing that Brooklyn blue just to prove it. The old Dodger blue.
Morganelli in control throughout here against Mike Weaver. Undefeated prospect from Dorchester, only 19 years old at 118 amateur bouts. His father, who's a barber not far away in Dorchester, Mass, got him started in the score of 8-7. Nick said, I want to take up karate. My dad said, you'll never do that. You're going to box. Right uppercut on the inside after Weaver came with the body shot. Now. 17 punches per round. Morganelli is now landing.
Right now, Weaver doing all the catching, all the surviving, all the moving. Morganelli, the only one looking to fight. The one thing Morganelli needs to do, maybe, to make this a short night is cut the ring down. Stop following Weaver around, who has already proven what his intentions are, to use the ring, to survive, to fight only in spots.
Good exchange there.
And there was a good spot for the left hook of Weaver.
Leads off with the right uppercut before finishing it up with the left. To the body goes Weaver.
No, get out.
Morganelli not helping himself on the inside with the smaller Weaver, allowing himself to be tied up. If he wants a shorter night, if he wants to score a knockout, if he wants to get the attention of people, he needs to make sure he maintains a proper distance inside and does not do that. Put his hands behind the smaller Weaver where he cannot work. Weaver stopped using his jab, and when he stopped using his jab, or actually Morganelli had stopped using his jab, Joe, and when he has, he's allowed Weaver to do that. Hot shot him, have little moments in this round.
Better round for him. They'll have one more to go.
The ancient Chinese believe
$493-1906. Call now.
Odds.com.
Fourth and final round between Nick Morganelli in the blue trunks, undefeated 19-year-old from Dorchester, Mass, and Mike Weaver, 2 junior welterweights. Of course, Teddy, junior welterweights, the big talk this week. Floyd Mayweather, the utter destruction of Arturo Gatti. You know, Teddy, the one thing, I want to get your thoughts on that fight, but the one thing I take away on that fight, I never thought Arturo Gatti would come out of that fight losing market value. I thought, yeah, maybe he'll lose the fight, or most likely he'll lose the fight, but he never just let it all hang out, and that was disappointing.
Yeah, I think that he was hurt in that area because of the whitewash that it turned out. I couldn't see it any other way. Not that I'm a smart guy.
Oh, you said that for a long time.
But that fight, that particular fight, those two styles, I couldn't see it any other way. And right now, the only way I see this fight is on the side of the man in blue, the undefeated 19-year-old Morganelli. When he uses the jab, there's no spots at all for Weaver to do anything because he stabilizes Weaver on the outside, and keeps him from pot-shotting as he moves. When there's no jab from Morganelli, Weaver can move to survive, use the ring, and then pick spots to come in and attack. But when the jab of Morganelli is coming at Weaver, well, then Weaver doesn't have those spots, doesn't have that clear road where he can jump in with offense. It's all defense, therefore it's all Morganelli.
Great.
Morganelli's hurting himself with not being able to use a jab in spots. See, now he'll use it because it's up in the proper chamber, up around his chin. So defensively and offensively, he's ready to go. But when he keeps it down there, but you just had it there a moment ago, and once again, down by his waist, he's not going to use that jab as readily and as quickly because he has to get it up, as you just saw a moment ago, him illustrated for us. When it's down by his waist, he has to pick it up to the shoulder to use it.
Break.
And that wastes time, and that allows Weaver to get out of range.
His trainer, Jimmy Gifford, said after the third round, go back to the jab. When you lead with that uppercut, you get a little wild and you give him openings.
So you got to read your man like a roadmap. If I was Weaver, I would just read the left hand of Morganelli. Watch, when it's down, now it's up, you know he's ready to punch. But when it's down,
it's got to come up before he punches.
Yeah, and when it's down, I would get aggressive. I would jump in. Now I would move. Now I would jump in if I was Weaver. If he jumps in there where he just did a moment ago, he's going to have a free entrance point because Morganelli is not in position to use that left hand. When it's up, move a little bit. But when it's down like that, that's where Weaver should take opportunities to look to score, as he just did there.
A couple left hooks came in from Philadelphia's Mike Weaver.
10 seconds, guys. Great, I got you.
Final moments of this fight. Nick Morganelli in control throughout. But after 2 first-round knockout wins in his last 2 fights, he goes the distance here in front of Morganelli. Now let's send it up to the ring to John Venna.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Judges Dan O'Neill, Dan Fitzgerald, and Steve Mamishian all score the bout 40-36 for your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Nasty Nicky Morganelli.
19-year-old Nick Morganelli, now 5-0 for Mike Weaver. He falls to 2-1. Of course, our main event is coming your way. Freddie Moore and George Collin-Jones. First, Matt Weiner with the 2.